this is Dusk for Dustin on Gaming with a wrap-up and deck tech for our Modern Challenge today. So overall, ended up going 6-2. If you want to know the specifics of each matchup, go back and watch the matchups. But in terms of wins and losses, we did start out slow early and ended up rallying back to 6-2. So if you look at the standings, we ended up finishing in 18th. Which at least got us our entry fee back. Here we are at 18, 6-2. There were some 6-2s that made top 8, but we started a little bit slow. I made a mistake in round 2 that cost us a game, and then we got locked out game 2, and then round 3 we just ended up losing to a relatively bad matchup, especially without surgical extractions in the deck. So deck tech as to what was going on. So this was the deck we played probably a couple weeks ago. Just kind of a random deck that I played. This build that really hasn't changed. I kept the main deck the same 60 cards. I think the main deck's pretty well built, other than you're weak to bigger creatures, or you're weak to this, or you're weak to that. You're just trying to remand Cryptic Command your way into casting through the Breach and Emrakul, or just starting a Snapcaster and Vendilion and click your opponent to death. The sideboard in this particular list had Dispels, a couple of Abrades, and then Engineered Explosives. Had Blood Moon and Anger of the Gods, and then had this Sarkon Niv Mizzet package that I don't think we ever actually brought into any success. So I decided to shave this nonsense for the Modern Challenge. Instead, those slots were replaced by actual sideboard cards of this array of stuff. So basically 69 of the 75 remain the same. The only difference was some of the sideboard slots that had previously thrown to alternate win cons. Harvest Pyre and Dismember were to attack bigger creatures like Tarmogoyf, Stuffed Shadows, delve threats that could be difficult to deal with, just Lightning Bolt and Anger of the Gods in the main deck. Summarious Rejection was used to some effect in this thing. Mainly this is for the colorless spells, the Eldrazi decks, the Tron decks, the various Affinity and Hardened Scales decks out there, KCI if we would have seen that. Disdainful Stroke, also in their flexible cards, can come in against control decks, comes in against the big mana decks. Was kind of a clutch card in a couple of our last couple matches against Valakut Shift and Amulet Titan. And then Damping Sphere also ended up being relevant against decks like Cheerios, against decks like Amulet Titan. So overall, we went, I would say, technically 5-2-1 in matches played, but we ended up with a 6-2 record. Our Cheerios opponent, you'll have to go back and watch the match, but they basically just took too long and killed themselves with timeout. So, I mean, it's one of the things in the nature of playing Magic Online is you can't take a boatload of time to especially when you're playing a combo deck that requires taking a bunch of turns, or a control deck that requires taking a bunch of turns. You really can't really take a lot of time to make your decisions, especially if you're going to 3 games. You have to make your decisions quickly, make them efficiently, and when you're kind of playing for high stakes, you have to be proficient with your deck. This is a deck that obviously recently I haven't played a ton of, but in the past I've played probably 40, 50, 60 matches with various Blue Moon archetypes. So I'm somewhat familiar with the archetype. I have very little... I did it more as a joke, just to see, I wasn't playing one of my top 2 decks. I wasn't playing Burn. I wasn't playing Death Shadow. I wanted to see how I could do with just like a random pile of cards that I'm proficient with, but I'm not this isn't like the best deck that I play. But that said, 6-2, top or 18th. I think last time out with Burn that I played a Modern Challenge, I ended up being, I believe it was 17th or 18th place. This tournament was actually another round longer. This one was like 132 players, so it was just over the 8-round mark. So this was a bit longer of a grind. What's really funny is I played 8 rounds with a control deck, and I didn't really feel like too mentally fatigued. There were some high stakes. We started out 1-2, roared back to a 6-2 finish. So that was a kind of a nice thing. A lot of the matches were fun. First couple matches were a little rough, but we rallied back and went 6-2. So pretty proud of that. Overall we went 6-2 in this thing, and then 4-1 in the friendly league with the deck. So 10-3 with a deck that I only play on occasion. Not too shabby. Deck definitely attacks the meta in a different angle than most people are used to from control decks. So deck was a lot of fun, blast to play. Probably won't be playing it in the Mythic Qualifier tomorrow. Not quite sure which deck I'm going to be picking up tomorrow. Probably, if I was smart, it'd be Grixis Death Shadow, but if it were smart, I would have played Grixis Death Shadow in the Modern Challenge today too. So we'll see what we play tomorrow, but it's definitely up in the air, but we'll see what happens. So this has been Dusk for Dust to Dawn Gaming with a deck tech and quick wrap up on how we did in the Modern Challenge today. So got us a couple challenge points or modern format points whenever that comes up after Ravnica Allegiance is released. So that's going to be one of our goals, is to work towards the modern challenge things, which means we're going to be starting to play some more. Going to be playing some more. What's the word I'm looking for? The competitive leagues here in a bit. Whenever I start getting a little bit more money in cash and stuff. That way, I start, we're risking more money, but we're also trying to qualify for the mocks and such this year. That's one of the goals on the channel. I want to challenge myself to play a lot more high-end Magic, see how we do, if we can hold our own, if this is something that I can turn into a serious hobby or potentially a living. Especially with this being my last semester in college, kind of decision time about whether I'm going to pursue this aggressively or whether I'm going to just move on to a traditional career and kind of keep Magic as a hobby. So I'd appreciate your guys' support. Help grow the channel a little bit. If you know anybody that could benefit from some of the stuff we do on the channel, or if you enjoy the content, please spread word of mouth. That's like the greatest thing that can happen. I mean, I can do everything I can do on my end to kind of grow the channel, and you all have been awesome this year. Last year we grew a lot. This year I'm hoping to grow even more. So appreciate the support from all you guys, and hope you guys enjoy this kind of content. We're doing this on occasion. I'm going to be doing a couple modern challenges when it's possible, but for the most part, this was because I was supposed to be going to SCG Columbus and was not able to go due to monetary reasons. I had enough money to go for the tournament or whatever, but it would have been hard pressed to pay for the hotel and get decent food for the weekend. So I figured I'd stay home and play this event, and if I did well in this event, then I could play in the Mythic Qualifier tomorrow, which is the other. We'll have some videos from that, and I'll probably have a live stream here in a bit with some Standard Arena. So thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been Dusk for Dust to Dawn Gaming. Thanks for all your support. Bye for now.